So I'm like, man, I might have to go get some money, you know what I mean? And at the time, I had a few associates that were doing robberies, and I went to them, and I'm like, man, y'all doing any robberies, you know? And soon they, yeah, we going tomorrow night. And I'm, okay, I'm come with y'all, cause they was hitting everything in Fresno and end up doing time behind it eventually. But they called me the day before I was supposed to go with them and said, something came up. We're not gonna be able to do it. And I'm already amped. I'm like, man, I'm already amped. I had a little pistol and I was already in my all black. And I'm like, man, I gotta go do something. So I ended up riding around Fresno. Actually, I was hoping nobody was out, cause I'm the type of person where I'm like a machine. I'm like an android. A robot. If I'm programmed, that's what I gotta do, or I'll think, oh, you soft, you know, within myself. And so I'm riding around. Finally, some came to me like, man, take your butt home. I'm going home. I ain't doing nothing stupid. And as I'm going home, the devil right there, he looked at me, he said, hey man, turn to your left. Oh my God, this man was at an ATM, you know, and like I said, I done watched a million robbery. So I thought I knew what I was doing. I'm like, man, I'm talking to myself too. I'll never forget. I said, why this man gotta be outside at midnight? And as I'm talking to myself, I'm busting a U-turn. I get out the car like, go ahead and get all the money out of the ATM. And what's the number? What's the PIN number? He's shaking, he giving me all that. And I went and got in the car, and it was meant for me to go to prison because it was just weird, you know. After I robbed him, I went and got in the car around the corner and left down the street, and he just so happened to see the license plate and call it in. After that, I ain't seen the street in 7 years. When I got close to my release date, they call it short-time fever, and I didn't know what they were talking about. I had friends that got out before me, and right before they go home, they'll do something stupid, you know. They'll get into a fight on the basketball court. They'll get into a fight playing basketball. Just stupid. I mean, nothing they did their whole time they would do. Go to the hole, lose time. Now, I'll never forget, I was at Solano State Prison. That's close to Sacramento. And it was a week before, no, it was like 2 days before I was to go home. I'm on the basketball court. I haven't been on the basketball court in 7 years of being in prison. And it was just that nervous energy, anxiety, scared, you know, because I was scared. Because like I said, I was institutionalized my first month incarcerated. And so all my friends that were getting out were getting killed or getting life in prison, so that fear was there like, dang, am I gonna end up like them? No, because they seemed like they had their head on straight. And they did, or just got life. So that fear was there. I was actually scared to get out. And so back to the basketball court. I'm on the basketball court, Cat was going up to shoot the ball. I slapped the ball out of his hand, he turned around like he was tough. I grabbed his neck, this is 2 days before getting out. And all my gang associates grabbed me like, bro, you about to get out, what you doing? I said, I don't care about going to the street, I don't care about the street. And that was my verbatim words was, I didn't care about going to the street. And I'll never forget it. When I look back on it, being institutionalized it's just crazy, man. That was the hardest part for me, was getting financially stable, you know. And I'm not talking about greedy. I'm talking about where I can just pay my bills comfortably and have a few dollars left to feed myself, get gas, stuff of that nature. So that for me, that was the hardest part, and which is tougher now for guys, because even for me, when I got out the last time, I tried to go get a job at a gym, you know, and first thing they say is, are you an ex-con? Have you been convicted of a felony? And me, I always lied. I always said no. And so, you know, once they do that, you know, put your social security number up in there and all that, they gonna find out anyway. So that was tough. Man, it's like, I got this body, I'm a personal trainer, I'm certified, I just went and got the CPR, and I can't get hired. So my neighborhood where my mother, where I was raised in East Oakland, was a drug street. And so, you know, everybody know me as Big Homie. Big Khalid just got out the pen. And, you know, my little brother was out there slanging at the time. And so, you know, as my money started getting funny, I started looking around. I'm like, who is these weenies out here? Hey, I told my brother, I said, hey, go get me a kilo of that coke, man. I'm gonna show y'all how to do it. At this point in my life, I had never sold drugs in my life. Never. And so just by that leader, you know, that thinking you smarter and got the leadership, I'm like, man, I'm about to start getting this dope game. So I got in the drug game. I didn't last 90 days. The police, for some reason, I was already marked as a gang leader to hit the street. So if you see a big buff motherfucker, at the time I had dreads. This was before everybody started wearing dreads. This is like 2001 when I first got out. And it was like, I don't know, it was like they had a heat-seeking device, a tracking device in me or something, because man, I didn't get 90 days and I ended up going back San Quentin. After the last time out, I'll never forget this, man. I had never said I was never coming back to prison. My mother came and got me from San Quentin. Now, I'll never forget it. This is the first time doing this, and I had been to Quentin 3 times before. I look back, which they always say, never look back for people that's getting out of prison, because if you look back, you go back. But I look back at that motherfucking San Quentin, and I said, I ain't coming back, man. Simple as that. Right then, I knew I wasn't going back. Fortunately, I was able to meet the woman of my life. And this will really change me. She was the most beautifulest person I've met in my life, and we just had a spiritual connection. And so my wife now, she was my girlfriend at the time. She said, hey, I'ma tell you, go to prison, I'm not doing no writing, not coming to visit you, none of that. Right then, my life changed. The gym on in Oakland, the gym I used to go to, give props to Diego Cherry, Power Alley Gym in Oakland. He said, hey, you need to get in bodybuilding and stop messing around. What, you gonna be buff or nothing? And so, I decided to start competing at that moment. Me and my wife ended up moving to Los Angeles in 2010. From there, life just, man, elevated to the utmost. And now, after 7 years out, being in tons of TV shows, movies, tons of commercials, life is just, man, it's magnificent, man. And so now I started my foundation, Ex-Con to Icon. That's to help troubled youth and ex-cons, you know, give them hope.
Thank you, Wes.